Let's go for it!
Hey everybody, it's me, your buddy Dave here, the host of The Dark Stuff. Thanks a lot for checking out the new video. Let me take a sip of coffee from my really faded Pink Floyd cup there. Okay, so I'm going to try and squeeze as much as I can in with this new video. I got some live footage from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, who I saw recently. Got a couple of reviews of some newish records, and then just some kind of new releases that have fallen into my lap. I'm just going to more or less mention those as I'm dipping my toes into the water with those records, and then maybe some odds and ends of stuff I've picked up recently. I have been working a ton. Today's Memorial Day, and today's my first kind of day off in about 2 months, so I don't really have a ton of time to even pick up any records. So it's like I'm happy for the handful that I've gotten recently. So I started off with a little bit of footage of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. I was able to see them for the second time a little bit ago at a place here in Omaha called Slowdown. I love Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Okay, I think everything that they've put out. I've never done a Black Rebel video because most of my collection is on CD, and I don't know. I have very little interest in making a video or just showing my CD collection, although if someone's actually interested, maybe that's something I could do down the future. I do have a ton of their stuff. I find Black Rebel Motorcycle Club to be almost like the quintessential American rock and roll band, yet they have like almost no audience in America among rock and roll fans, and I don't understand that. Their audience is in Europe primarily, and in Japan, and in Australia, and in basically the rest of the world other than the United States and, I don't know, Canada. I don't know what their situation is in Canada, to be honest, but I mean, their band name comes from a Marlon Brando movie. Their guitars, bass, drums, loudly done and with a good song. They can play loud, they can play acoustic, they can play heavy, they can play quiet. I don't understand their lack of success. I think it's just bad luck on their part for the last 18 years or so that they've been a band, but they've refined their thing to such an amazing degree. Their live show was extremely good. They all wear the black leather, all black clothes, black leather jackets. I mean, they're just cool American rock dudes, and it's like their appeal is they couldn't even get arrested in Nebraska. They're still playing clubs. This show, the Slowdown probably holds like, I don't know, 600 people or something. There were probably 300 there. So decent, but I mean, what? I don't know. It's just a total mystery to me. I think these guys are just amazing. They haven't made a bad record. There's better and worse, but they've never made a bad record in 18 years. What other band has that kind of track record these days? So I probably mentioned in an earlier video that I did the pledge music thing for Belly, and I was a little put off by pledge music, by my experience when I did it for Bash and Pop a couple years ago, where I got the record way after the release date, and it was disappointing. I mean, you get a download the night before, that's cool, but I actually got my physical copy when they'd been in the stores for 2 months. But I'm not still bitter about that. Trust me, I'm not. But I did Pledge Music again. I've actually signed up for a few more for the future. I mean, I've got my money in for Swerve Driver, which has now been delayed like 3 or 4 times. I put my money down for someone else. And then, of course, I did do the Belly project. And in this case, because I figure I'm never going to actually see Belly perform live, they are doing a tour, but they're coming nowhere near me. I went ahead and shelled out for the autographed version. So here's the new album, Dove, signed by all 4 members. And they made the record look like their old 4AD stuff. You know, the artwork for 4AD Records had a real distinct style back in the 80s and 90s when Belly used to be a part of that label. Like this inner sleeve just looks exactly like it. Obviously the same artist, though they're releasing the album on their own label. And it's really nice too. There's more purples and stuff in this thing. It looks kind of blue here when I'm looking on my monitor, but it is a really, really cool design. So, I mean, I've been a fan of Belly since day one. They only had a short career. I mean, they only made 2 albums in their entire existence. Their debut album, Star, which was the big college rock hit. It actually was a gold record. Feed the Tree was the single, and that was a big song at the time. And by the time the next year rolled around and they did their second album, King, which I have, by the way, this deluxe CD box of it. All right, with the full thing. Anywho, by the time that album rolled around, which I think was a better album, and it was produced by Andy Johns, if memory serves, and had this big open sound, and it was really, really awesome, and it sold like a fraction of the other one, and Belly broke up after 2 albums. Tanya Donnelly went solo, and I've loved her since I first saw her in the Throwing Muses, and then she was initially a member of the Breeders. She didn't last long in the Breeders. I think that was just sort of a temporary holdover thing, and there were all these stories about contractual issues with her not being able to sing on the album, and I kind of don't think that's actually true. I think that was just an old wives' tale or something. It just seems like, well, I don't know. Whatever it seems like, who cares?
You're gonna give someone a heart attack. I could tell you it's all.
So there was never that much to collect with Belly, and so now that they're on their comeback, you know, I got the 10-inch from Record Store Day. I now have my signed version of Dove, and I did end up getting a CD version of it sent to me for the radio show, so I can play with that and sort of keep this. I'm going to end up framing this cover here. So I'm going to try and collect whatever I can. I don't think I'll be able to see them live on this tour. They're only doing just a handful of dates. Again, I'd have to travel at least, I think, 8 hours or so to get there, and it's just, I would love to do it, but at this stage in the game, it's just not possible for me. So as far as the record itself, I think the quality is very high. Now, Will from Vinyl Potato and I were messaging about this a little bit ago, and he wasn't feeling the new record that much. I'm hoping he's changed his mind. That was a couple weeks ago since we've been there, but I think that the album, you know, really is kind of like taking where King left off, a little bit more open sound. They didn't revert back to Star with the more jangly kind of 93, 94 era sound, because it's 2018, so it does have a little bit of a sort of a trippier, a little more rhythmic feel to it. But I don't know, I really like it. I love Tanya Donnelly's voice, I love her face, I love everything that she does in music, and I followed her solo career when Belly broke up, and then I was really disappointed a couple years ago when she started putting out this thing called the Swan Song series, implying, hey, I'm out of the game here, folks. I'm done. This is going to be the end. And then, of course, they get the announcement for the Belly reunion. So,
all the way home, all the way home. You're miles behind, but I'm.
It does, in a little ways, throw me back to the mid-90s, which, again, is a great era for me personally that I really like. On the other hand, it does have a fresh sound. It doesn't mean I think, you know, kids are going to give up all that mumble rap or whatever the fuck they listen to these days and get back into, you know, something like this. But it does have appeal beyond guys like me who remember the band from before. Okay, so again, there's all these new women in rock that have been coming up lately that are really, really excellent. If you watch my channel, you know I'm a huge supporter of all of that. But some of the old school ones are still around, and they're still putting out quality material, Belly among them.
I wanna walk through the park in the dark. Women are scared that men will kill them.
Okay, I guess sticking with the theme of female artists just kicking ass and totally dominating the music scene at the moment, I did get the new Courtney Barnett, Tell Me How You Really Feel. The vinyl with the mirror, and wait, watch when I open it. The gatefold. What? Okay. So yeah, it's got this silver mirror stuff. It's a little crazy. Reflector light there. It makes the lyrics a little hard to read. I'm gonna be honest with you, Courtney. Like, I'm not sure why you did that. Well, I know why you did that, but itself is just a black sleeve, and I got black vinyl, so nothing special on that. What's special is the insides of this album, and it is really, really good. And you can see, you know, she's so like, I mean, she's very good at like twisting words and sort of making you not understand specifically what she's talking about. But then if you're kind of clued in just a touch, then you're like, oh, I totally get it now.
Friends treat you like a stranger and strangers treat you like their best friend. Oh well.
So this is technically Courtney's second full-length album, although I was introduced to her through her first two EPs, which were put together as one record. So I kind of view that as her first, and then her 2015 one would be her second album, and then this would be her third. Technically, that's not true, and so you'll see a lot of things written calling this her second album. Fine. If that makes you feel any better.
Empty bottle blues, sleep in different.
Either way, I'm satisfied with this. It does kind of live up to the hype. Her last album did make #1 on my list of best albums of 2015. So time will tell, as this one will probably grow on me. I'm already starting off with, I like this record. Will it get to that point? Who can say? I mean, I'm recording this in May, friends. I'm not Nostradamus. Okay, a couple of new things that I've been listening to lately that I'm still kind of sorting out what my feelings are on it. And one is the new album from Eleanor Friedberger. This is her new album, Rebound. Got this as the promo, although I would have ended up buying it eventually because I do like Eleanor Friedberger. I only knew her before as one half of the group Fiery Furnaces, and I kind of never really cared about Fiery Furnaces, so I wasn't that excited when she went solo, even though she originally went to Merge Records, and then she changed over to French Kiss Records, two of my favorite independent labels of the last, extended period, Merge going all the way back to the 90s. Anyway, I happened to catch Eleanor Friedberger once at Reverb, and I popped in on her set, and I was supposed to just stay for like half of it, and then I was going to leave and go see Voivod, which was playing next door. I ended up liking Eleanor Friedberger so much that I just stayed for all of her set and ended up being late to the other show. And I've been a fan of hers ever since. I have an autographed, I'm looking at it to my left, an autographed copy of her album New View, which I have hanging up on my wall here in the bunker. So this new album is sort of like a new sound for her. She's not doing as much guitar stuff as she was before. It says she wrote the album on a Casio keyboard. Now, it doesn't mean the album is played on a Casio keyboard. It just means that it was written with this kind of keyboardy kind of arrangement. So it's a little bit different, and I'm still kind of warming up to the sound, you know. Eleanor Friedberger also has this thing which some people really like and some people can really hate. I end up liking it with her, but her lyrics are like literally her day. Okay, like in her life and stuff, and it's very, very literal. So if she woke up in the morning, had some cereal, she's going to come up with some melodic way to say, I woke up this morning, had some cereal, put on my shoes, went over to, you know, whatever. Which again, you can find that endearing in certain circumstances, and then some people I know, it just like drives them kind of nuts. That's sort of Eleanor Friedberger's thing, and so you kind of have to be into that, I suppose. But again, I'm warming up to it. I'm not 100% there, but again, I like her previous two, and the sound is not radically different. It's just mildly different.
Finally, there's a place where you can.
Okay, and then the last really new release would be the new Arctic Monkeys. This Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. Again, I got the promo version, but it's actually really cool because, you know, I did get the full booklet with it, but they also sent this other promotional material along with it. So they sent this whole book, which I'm assuming is probably from the vinyl. It's the lyrics, but it's much, much bigger, so you don't have to see it really small. And then a little marketing piece for the new Arctic Monkeys record, talking about, you know, all the ways they're promoting it, how successful they are, yada, yada, yada. But it is the follow-up to it. It's been 5 years since AM was out. And I've given this record a quick glance. I've played the single on my show. The single's called 4 out of 5. I've played it a number of times. And so far, I'm liking it. I've liked all the Arctic Monkeys records. I was a little late to adopt them because I sort of thought, I don't know, they were incorrectly described to me as sort of being like the Libertines, and I like the Libertines, but when I checked them out and they weren't like that, then I was kind of like, oh, well, forget them. I've revised my opinion like quickly thereafter because they are a really good band. But again, this is more saying I have it. I haven't had a chance to really absorb it and to say whether it's as good as even AM, because AM was fucking amazing. So is Suck It and See. So is every record they've made has really been good. So I have no reason to doubt that this one won't be good too. Again, these are these reviews that aren't really reviews because I've listened to it, but not enough to really say something definitive on it, you know.
With a big old fishy fisherman, singing citizens, city sees a sin. Tiny spots here and there, with his glare, working in the lands of an alleyway. Triggers flare, never seen it, only heard it, clever genius, only wordsmith.
Okay, so the rest of what I have is just some used stuff that I picked up. I did get a copy of this from Half Price Books, Hangar 18, the multi-platinum debut. Now, it's still sealed because I've had the CD. This is a 2004 album. This is an amazing, amazing hip-hop record that has this classic feel of like maybe 89, 90, 91 period hip-hop. It's a mixed race band. They got like a white guy, they got a black guy, they got an Arab guy. They throw that in there sometimes that they're talking about it. These guys were fantastic. I saw them live once. There were about maybe a dozen people there. It's kind of weird when you go see a nationally touring artist and there's only like a dozen people at the show. I always feel weird because if you leave, even just to go to the bathroom or something, you've just taken out like almost 10% of the audience just by going to take a piss. So it's like you're very noticed. The artist knows what you're doing and stuff. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So this is a classic album. If you can find this used, it's fantastic. I'm glad to found it. It was actually $4.99, but it was half off that, so I got it for $2.50. Okay. You guys you snoozed and you losed over there at the Half Price Books in Omaha because you fucked up by not grabbing this because I got it. And then I picked up this Howlin' Wolf 3 CD set, which is great. I had no Howlin' Wolf in my collection. I'm not going to start digging around for vinyl on him. I figured like this has every song I could possibly need, you know? So score, this is only $8.99 brand new. And then the day I happened to be there was Free Comic Book Day. Now they didn't let you pick out any comic book. They just had a bunch behind the counter, and they just go, "Hey, Marvel or DC?" And I'm like, I guess Marvel. So they threw me an X-Men comic. Haven't read it yet. But either way, I mean, I like all the Marvel and the DC stuff on TV and movies, but I don't actually read comic books. So this is my collection almost, besides the Kiss comics. It's pretty much all I have. Okay, and then the last two things, I went down to Homer's to buy a gift for somebody, and then I decided, well, I can't waste an opportunity here not to get something for myself. So I did add to my Elvis Costello 7-inch with picture sleeves. This is Every Day I Write the Book. And it does say, promotional. So I'm excited about that. So then adding to my collection on that. And then I saw this for just like $5-6. Fuji's Greatest Hits. I don't have anything by the Fugees or Lauryn Hill in my collection. And I've been told that's a gaping hole there because even though I lived through the era of the Fugees and it didn't really grab me at the time, I'm willing to admit that I might have just kind of glossed over them because they got so big so fast. I kind of didn't care. And now looking back, it's like, so if I start really feeling this, I might get that Lauryn Hill solo album, which I also hear is really good. All right, everybody, that's pretty much all I got for you. Thanks a lot for checking it out. I'll see you when I see you, friends. Bye-bye.